Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's unit of study. Here are the rules that we've been talking about for comparing fractions over the past couple of weeks in our mini lesson. And just as a reminder, when we have rule number one, that means the denominator is the same, and that means the size of the pieces are the same, and we can look at the numerator to determine which one has more pieces. Then we talked about when the numerator is the same, we can use the denominator to help us determine which one's larger, because the one with the least amount of pieces is going to have bigger pieces. So in this case, 2/6 is larger than 2/8. But sometimes numerators and denominators are different from each other. And when that's the case, we have to think about how close the fraction is to 0, 1/2, or 1/2 to be able to compare those fractions. So I thought we would do a couple together before you get to practice on your own later in this rotation. So here I've got 3/8 and 5/8. I want you to enter into play posit. Which fraction do you think is larger? 3/8 or 5/8? And then we'll check together on this number line. All right, let's look. Let's model 3/8 first. I'm going to put 3/8 on the number line here. There's 1, 2, 3. And now we'll do 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here we can see pretty easily that 5/8 is larger than 3/8. And the reason that is because the pieces are the same size. 5/8 just has more pieces. And that goes back to our first rule that we were talking about. Let's try another one. Here, I have 4/6 and 4/8. Which fraction do you think is going to be larger? Enter that into play posit now. All right, let's check. Let's model 4/6 first. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then below it, we'll model 4/8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, this goes back to one of our rules. Here, the numerators are the same, but the denominators are different. And because the whole has to be split into 8 pieces when it's eighths, the pieces are much smaller. So when we have 4/8, those pieces are smaller because there's more partitioning happening to the whole than with sixths. So when the denominators are the same, the numerator with the smallest amount of pieces in a whole is going to be the larger fraction. Here's another one. Which symbol do you think belongs in between these two fractions? Enter that into play posit now. All right, here's where it gets tricky. We have to think about, is it closer to 0, 1/2, or 1/2? So I'm noticing that both of these fractions are close to 1/2. They're actually both one piece away from 1/2. So I'm going to model both of these. Here's 2/6. And then I'm going to model 5/12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here, 5/12 is bigger. They're both one piece away from 1/2, but see, if I add a 6th here, that'll be 1/2. And if I add a 12th here, that'll be 1/2. But the 5/12 is bigger because it's just one smaller piece to get to 1/2, whereas with a 6th, it would be a big piece to get to 1/2. So the symbol that I would want to put in between these two fractions is less than. Here's another. Which symbol do you think belongs in between these two fractions? Okay, 5/8 and 3/4. These are both close to 1/2 as well, but they're one piece bigger than 1/2. So I'm going to first model 3/4 here. And then I'm going to model 5/8. And we'll be able to see which one is larger. Oh, I had one too many there. So there's 5/8, and here's 3/4. Here, they're both one piece over 1/2, because right here would be equivalent to 1/2. But the fourth pieces are larger, so the 3/4 fraction is larger, and we should use that less than symbol. Here's the last one for us to think about today. 11/12 and 9/10. Which symbol belongs between these two fractions? Let's try it out. I'm going to make 11/12. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11/12. Now I'm going to make 9/10. And what I notice is both of these are one piece away from one whole. So they both are one piece away, but we need to think about which piece is going to be smaller and closer to one whole. So let's get 9/10. Oops, and these are kind of overlapping a little bit, so let me fix those. There we go. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay. Here, 11/12 is just a tiny bit bigger, and the reason is because it's only a tiny piece to get to one whole. It's a small piece to get to one whole with the tenths too, but the piece is a little bit larger. So here, 11/12 is greater than 9/10. So as you think about fractions and comparing them, you have to think about how close it is to one whole, 1/2, or 0 to help you determine which of the pieces is going to be smaller or larger, or which fraction is going to be larger based off of that. So as you work today in your part 2 and part 3, you're going to get even more practice with this. You're going to be able to practice with tools or any other choice that you would like. Maybe you just want to explain your reasoning, and that's okay too. And you will be able to get better at this because you're going to get some time to practice. Go ahead to go to part 2 now so you can see what the next part is. Have fun, and we can't wait to see all the amazing things you do in Unit of Study this week.